Again as we play Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective, and this time we're playing the case of the Tin Soldier. So just a bit of recap. General Armstead found murdered at his home after visit by an elderly gentleman with a foreign accent. So the valet heard sounds of sword fight, found the general dead, and the suspect has run away. So right now actually, we've come up with three motives for the killing. Most probably it's either because of the Polar Star Diamond, which will probably go on in this episode. The Waterloo ticket tontine, which I doubt is the main reason. And apparently, there is another reason, of course. An inheritance. Or rather, should I say probably inheritance and a scandal. So basically, from what I do know, David Sennett from the which is General Armstead's valet or butler, as you call it. Apparently, he's saying that this foreign gentleman came in with a letter from the 12th Hussar. So apparently, the general got mad and they had a sword fight and everything. So that could be the case, but we're still not so sure. We'll probably chase down this Polar Star Diamond lead first, because well, it has the most promising stories though, including another dead person. We found another dead murder. This time it's by the it's Pierre Martin, who was found in the Bridge House Hotel dead. So we came in and yep, he's dead. But we do found somebody here, Carson Cabot, and we're gonna chase down that lead. So we'll send an irregular. He's lounging around his bedroom slippers. So let's just go in there.
Can I help you, Mr. Holmes?
Mr. Cabot, I'm looking for the murderer of General Farnsworth Armstead. Where were you this morning?
You don't beat around the bush, do you?
Not if I can avoid it.
Well, it so happens I've been at home all morning.
You know we can follow up with that story.
Yes, I can see that.
Well, of course you can.
Either you've been at home all morning, or there's some other good reason why you are still attired in your bedroom slippers.
Aha! Shopman. Well, that's it. We've ended the story there. Oh dear. Let's go to the embassy. Russian embassy. Send a regular there. Let's go there for clues.
Count Rostov, Watson. Count Rostov, Holmes. According to the woman at the embassy, he is the only Russian national who has arrived in London in the past 3 days.
But how will we find him?
He's staying at the Kaiser's Royal Hotel.
Aha, it looks like we got a lead.
Is that Holmes?
Elementary, my dear Watson. I asked.
Kaiser Hotel. Alright, so we found a lead. Carson Cabot probably is innocent, I suppose. I believe it's this Count Rostov. He's mad or something, I don't know. Let's see here. The Carson Hotel. Let's go in the H Hotel, the Kaiser Royal Hotel. We'll go in there ourselves.
Are you from the police?
Were you expecting the police?
I was. My valet, Vladimir, reported to me that his interview with Pierre Martin was decidedly unproductive, as he was dead when Vladimir arrived.
I see. Tell me, why did he go to see Martin in the first place?
It was in reference to a certain valuable possession of mine that was stolen some years ago by Pierre's brother, Andre. I was in Paris and I read in the London Times that General Armstead was to revise his very interesting book to include a chapter concerning that possession. Originally, I came here to visit him.
Then, how did you discover Martin's whereabouts?
Shall we say, Someone made me aware that Matin was also in London, that he was the general source of information. But when the General Armstead was reported dead, I had no other alternative but to pay a call on Matin. So I sent Vladimir, an old man's legs, you understand, to speak with him.
I presume you killed him, my friend. Vladimir Rost. I think this is the only guy named Vladimir Watkins.
This seems...
Oh, dead end. What's his name again? Shit. Let's go back to the notebook. So that's a dead end. I really thought it would be the Polar Star Diamond. But I'm pretty sure Rostov and Vladimir were behind it. But then again, not gonna go after that lead. What we can go, however, is this lead. Floret. Let's see here. Floret. There's nobody named Floret. Oh, we can go to the French embassy. Send a regular. We went there already. Shit. We went to see Malcolm Fitch. Send a regular. Oh dear. So we've hit a dead end. Can interview everybody, right? Let's go to Lestrade. Then we went to Lestrade. We went to Somerset House, Parkland. We spoke with everybody of the regulars. So, do we speak to Edward Hall? We haven't spoke with Edward Hall. So let's just go there, see what he has anything to offer.
Hall's assistant says he's in court and will be there all day. Pity.
Yeah, because he has nothing to do with the case. Arno Phillips. Let's go to the Bank of England.
Could you tell us exactly how much the Tontine prize money amounts to at this time?
The Tontine Fund, with interest accruing for the past 75 years, amounts to just shy of £3 million.
Quite a tidy sum, I'd say.
$3 million. I want to see this Fitch person. Let's see if he has anything to do with it.
I admit I strongly disliked Armstead. He was a cad who made my sister's life miserable. I argued at length with my father against the marriage, but to no avail.
But what was your sister's opinion at the time?
Well, unfortunately, Mary was not the attractive sort who had scores of suitors. My father was afraid she'd be left a spinster. The engagement was arranged just before Armstead went to France. During the year he was gone, I had him watched and discovered he was in the thick of some scandal involving a young French girl.
And you told your father?
He wouldn't listen. I even went so far as to give the story to the newspapers. But my father got wind of it and used his influence to prevent its publication. I would have done anything to keep my sister away from that man.
Including murder.
Why, that's preposterous. Well, surely you don't think... I was scheduled to meet with Armstead today. But you see, my wife took ill. I spent the whole morning attending to her here until Dr. Ainstree arrived at around 11 o'clock.
Yeah, I doubt it. Your story fake. We found out from Dr. Ainstree that he actually came at 10. So you're freed up at 10 o'clock. So where were you? We went to the let's go to the Financial Times, see what they have it.
I question why we have come to this location. If clues are what we are seeking, then we are in the wrong...
We are in the wrong place. So, Pall Mall Gazette. Nothing. Police Gazette.
General Armstead. Believe
Oh, I already spoken with him. Pierre Martin. Oxford Music Hall? I think that's where...
I question.
Wait, we're gonna go to the French embassy.
Farney and I spent over a year quartered together in France in War College. We became the best of friends.
Did you know much of the General's personal life at the time?
He always put the rest of us to shame in the matters of love. Said it was because we had no horse face to spur us on.
Did the General have a passion for horses?
Mon Dieu, no. He was engaged to a terribly unattractive woman by the name of Mary Fitch. Behind her back, that's what he called her. Horseface.
How dreadful. Whatever became of her?
She eventually became Mrs. Armstead and brought her great fortune to the marriage. I believe that Farney looked upon his stay in France as his last great fling.
Are you saying that there was no particular woman at the time?
I did not say that. There was one, but I never met her. My little flower, he called her. I remember one night he could not sleep. He was slightly drunk, and he kept rambling on about promises that must be kept and promises that couldn't be. Finally, he collapsed on the bed with such sadness in his eyes I will never forget it. Ma Fleurette, he said. How very touching.
Have you seen much of the General over the years?
We have always maintained our friendship through correspondence, until last week, that is. It was the first time we had seen each other in over 40 years. We had supper, and then went to see the French actor Philippe Arnaud perform. The General commented that my presence beside him while French was being spoken reminded him of the old days.
So your visit went well?
Exceedingly well.
Can you think of anything that might have been troubling him?
No, the General was in excellent spirits. He joked about the upcoming Tontine celebration at the Langham, and he was very enthusiastic about the new information concerning the Polar Star. In fact, this week he was supposed to meet with a countryman of mine about it. It is hard to believe that my good friend is gone.
It is very suspicious. Oh well. And I guess go over there. Let's see here. Who else? The theater, Princess Theaters and the detective.
Oh, but you must see Philippe perform.
Finally for him.
An artist, a wonder. He manages to portray the Emperor Napoleon from age 19 until his last days on the island of Savarne. You would swear 5 different actors playing the part, but no, it is only Philippe aging before your eyes. At 48, he's the toast of the continent.
You seem rather young to be the uncle of a 48-year-old man.
I am but 8 years older than Philippe, though I can assure you I am his uncle. You might say that our family has a history of late arrivals. Philippe's father was 25 years older than myself, and Philippe's poor sister was 15 years older than he.
Why do you say poor?
She died many years ago under tragic circumstances. In fact, her mother was so upset over her daughter's death that she was put into an asylum. We received word yesterday from the asylum that she had also passed away. It upset Philippe very much, resurrecting old ghosts, as you might say. But we have been playing for enthusiastic audiences for several weeks. As we say in the business, the show must go on. And Philippe is a trooper. He would never allow it to affect his performance.
Can you tell us where Philippe Arnaud is this morning? We should like very much to meet him.
Well, he is not here now. Our company is staying at the Grand Hotel. However, I believe today he is visiting the National Gallery. But if you would come back this evening, I will have tickets awaiting, and after the show, you're welcome to come backstage and meet him.
Nah, we're gonna go and see going to the National Gallery, find this Filipino.
I can't
Send the irregulars in. Well, send you out to the wrong place, of course. So the Grand Hotel. Let's investigate
How
further.
fortunate that Inspector Lestrade authorized the hotel manager to allow us to search Philippe Arnaud's room.
Perhaps we can return the favor and solve a case for him someday. Today, for example. Let's look around.
How strange that a man who requires a cane would leave without it.
Perhaps he doesn't require it for walking.
Oh.
Here at the handle. Well, that could certainly give a fellow a start.
Precisely, Watson. Look here. It appears to be a letter.
Looks quite old. It's addressed to Captain Armstead, 12th Hussars. Shall I read it?
Please do.
I think we found the murderer.
Dearest, how I hated you for leaving me, but the child, our child, eased my heartache and muted the hate. Now my sweet baby is dead. How cruel that the innocent must suffer for the sins of others. Now I have nothing. Now I am nothing. I cannot bear the pain. Goodbye, I love you still, Fleurette. How tragic. Why, perhaps this is the very letter that the General read.
Good thinking, Watson.
I think I can solve the case now. I think we just solved the case already. I'm pretty sure this Philippe Arnaud killed him. This Philippe Arnaud is probably the son, and this guy is probably the father. And grief might have killed him. He saw the picture. I think we can solve the case now. Yep. Let's go to the notes. Let's go find Philippe Arnaud. If we can find him. He's probably the killer.
I've rung the bell.
But we got enough to block him in. But fish store doesn't. Let's go to fish, see if he has anything to do with it.
I admit I strong.
So I think that's it. I think we can solve the mystery now. Let's go to the judge.
Hear ye, hear ye.
Yeah, I got enough evidence, my man.
The Queen's Court now stands in order. I see we have the pleasure of your company, Mr. Holmes. I understand you've been investigating the murder of General Farnsworth Armstead.
That's correct, my lord, and I believe I have solved the case.
Do you now? Well then, tell me, who murdered the General?
Philippe Arnaud.
A brilliantly logical deduction, Mr. Holmes.
Of course.
Thank you, my lord.
Now tell us, why was the General killed?
Well, I doubt it. To avenge the owners of Arnaud's sister. I doubt this because the marriage or the treasures of conquerors or the Tontine prize money.
Now, tell me, gentlemen, what was the General trying to say when he turned round the figure of Napoleon?
Well, He wasn't trying to say anything. I will.
Positively incorrect. I'm afraid.
Asshole. I was positive. I was positive that was correct. Just go to the court again.
Hear ye, hear ye.
Damn it.
The Queen's Court now stands in order.
That's why not all of us are Sherlock Holmes, by the way.
I see we have the pleasure of your company, Mr. A brilliantly logical deduction,
Okay,
Mr.
finish on
Holmes.
our
Now,
sister.
tell me, gentlemen, what was the General trying to say when he turned round the figure of Napoleon? Rather clever of the old boy, what?
Indubitably. A man who keeps his wits about him to the last has my undying admiration.
I was wondering, just for the record, could you tell us what the General used to call his wife?
Horseface.
Well, you've done an admirable job in resolving this mystery. I'd say you're on a par with just about any other armchair detective out there. I
Asshole.
would suggest, however, that you rethink this case again, thereby improving your sleuthing skills.
Wait. Did I get it?
My word, dear Holmes. Perhaps we are in the wrong business altogether. I think I will ring up the university immediately and see if we might enroll in a detective course.
Well, we can go and see Holmes' solution. I believe mine was far more close to Holmes' solution. Wait, I scored 625. Holmes scored 40.
You say you've come up with a solution, and yet you sit there calmly cleaning your meerschaum. Please, Holmes, tell me what you've uncovered.
Of course, Watson. It's quite simple, really. The most intriguing fact about this murder was the method. Mr. Sennett's report that he heard the distinct sound of swordplay struck me as most odd. It suggested an affair of honor. At General Armstead's home, my suspicions were confirmed. The old letter addressed to Captain Armstead, a rank he'd held some 40 years ago, suggested that it must have concerned something from the past. Something that was clearly upsetting to him.
No,
That
I've
was
just
the
schooled
reason
out
for the
all the stuff.
But how can you be so sure there was a duel?
Simple reasoning, my dear Watson. The General had time to place his chair against the wall, climb upon it, and retrieve a saber. The murderer allowed him to arm himself. A duel is the only event that fits with the facts.
Are you sure the caller carried a sword? I thought all he had with him was a carpet bag and a cane.
Perhaps it only appeared to be a cane.
Ah, yes.
Nope, we went into
The
his
intruder was
room.
described as an old man, yet he left the premises over an 8-foot wall. Clearly he was in disguise, and carried off the ruse with enough expertise to completely fool the General's manservant. The carpet bag must have been used as the receptacle of the disguise when it was no longer needed.
Positively clever of you, Holmes. But what made you think it was Arnaud?
Well, since we were looking for someone adept at the art of disguise, Gerard's mention of the actor Philippe Arnaud struck a chord.
Yep.
Also, Arnaud plays Napoleon. No small coincidence.
What are you getting at, Holmes?
When the General turned round to the figure of Napoleon, he was trying to tell us that his murderer was Napoleon. Or rather, the actor playing Napoleon, Philippe Arnaud.
So Arnaud killed the General to avenge his long-dead sister's honor. Ah. Yeah. Unlike most of our cases, this motive was closer to the heart than to the pocketbook.
Quite so, Watson. When Arnaud's sister Fleurette was an impressionable young girl, she fell madly in love with the dashing English captain. When he left, she took her own life.
So pathetic.
Wait, there's more. Fleurette's grief-stricken mother went mad and was sent into an asylum. Thus, in the twinkling of an eye, little Philippe Arnaud, who was but a child himself, lost both his mother and his sister.
So sad. I'm sure he was too young to understand the circumstances that caused it.
Yes, but 4 decades later it all became clear when he found a letter written by his sister. It yielded an explanation and a name. Armstead. He came to London armed with that letter and a sword cane.
But he was here for several weeks before he did the deed.
Yes, and he might not have done it at all had it not been for the news of his mother's death. That was the final blow. He went straight away to the General's home to take his revenge. Voila.
Positively brilliant, Holmes. How do you do it?
This pipe cleaner, of course.
Well, I solved the problem easily. It's elementary. You will love all the other stuff. I went to the Polar Star Diamond. I chased down the lead, and unfortunately, nobody's. The lead was, there was another story altogether. But then, I'm not gonna get involved in that. The Waterloo ticket turned highly likely. You could have ruled it out easily. This Lord Fitch and the scandal story. It seems to be the only one holding ground, and suddenly Philippe Arnaud and the scandal. It makes sense. Kind of. I mean, like, yeah, that's why you would murder for your own mother, right? I don't know. Alright, so it looks like we're done. Alright, that's it. So if you guys do like this video, do subscribe. My name is Paxi. Thank you again for watching. Bye bye.